welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Jinaye, and I'm here to tell you guys that I quit my job as a flight attendant. But really, I did. I promise you this is not clickbait. I really did. So I'm gonna tell you guys about it and where I've been in this journey that I've been on in the last like 6-7 months or so. Honestly, really the last year, this behind the scenes journey that I have been on. So I have been on this journey for over a year now, and now I think it's finally time to spill the beans and let you know where my life is headed and where it went. I've been up to a lot of stuff behind the scenes that I haven't really shared with you guys. I have reasons for that I'll go into later, but it did involve me quitting my job as a flight attendant. So now you guys know that I quit my job as a flight attendant. However, to tell the whole story, I have to go way back into the beginning of my journey, and we are talking August of 2021, well over a year ago. When I'm filming this now, it is October. So journey starts well over a year ago. So something happened late last summer that changed the trajectory of my life, my career, and just everything. And that major change was that major airlines started their hiring process. So I was working as a flight attendant for a regional airline, and it had always been my dream to go to a specific major airline. And there was a couple that I thought like, okay, yeah, those would be great too. So I had my dream airline, my top choice. This is the #1 airline that I want. And then I had my second choice, my third choice, my fourth choice, and so on. And when the majors started hiring, specifically when my dream airline started hiring, I was just so excited to just get back into the interview process. I had interviewed for major airlines before, including my dream airline, and it is a process that I'm super familiar with, and a process that I do want to share with you guys in the future for future videos. But I was so excited, I was so thrilled that I finally was getting my chance to go to my dream airline or another major airline and just kind of get out of the regional world. I loved the regional world, but I had been there for 4 years. It was time for me to move on. And that's what I set out my path to do. And it was a very long journey. I knew it was going to take some time, but with how rapidly the major airlines just suddenly started hiring, they went from like furloughs and not hiring to like this massive hiring spree. So I didn't realize it was going to take as long as it did. It actually took a lot longer for me to go through this process than it did with any other airline. And when I went into this interview process, the whole process itself actually took a lot longer than even pre-COVID for me specifically. But that is a story that is specific to me. That's not necessarily everybody else's story. So these airlines start hiring, right? And I'm ecstatic. I'm ready to go. I had my resume ready far before they even started hiring. I was ready. I was prepared. In fact, when my dream airline opened up their applications, I had to click a couple of buttons to apply because I already had my resume ready and uploaded. I already had all of my information updated in their system. I was ready to go. It is snowing. Oh my gosh. Okay, I got a little distracted there, guys. Sorry about that. So I was just ready to go when my dream airline started hiring, and then I got invited to the next step of the interview process, which was an assessment. And then I waited, and I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And if you have been through the hiring process for an airline as a flight attendant, or really I think multiple positions are like this as well, you have to be patient. Patience is key because it takes so long. It takes a long time to get hired with the airlines. And so I have the utmost patience. This ain't my first rodeo. I was like, I know it's gonna take a really long time. And then my second choice airline started hiring, and I really wanted to give my dream airline my full attention. A lot of people do say just apply to every airline and like go with whoever hires, or like, you know, wait until you get an offer to decide which one you want to go with. And that's great for some people, but for me, like, I knew what I wanted. I knew where I was going to be happy and where I wouldn't be happy. And I knew I was going to be really happy with my dream airline. So I really wanted to give that my full attention. And I almost didn't apply to my second choice airline. But a friend of mine, Mikey, shout out to Mikey, talked me into it. And so we applied on the same day together to the second choice airline. And then I kind of forgot about it. I was just so worked up about my application with my dream airline. And then a month went by, 2 months went by, 3 months went by, 4 months went by, and just crickets. Nothing. And then I see all of these people who applied at the same time or even after me get interviews, and I'm just like, okay, I know everybody's timeline's different. I know I need to be patient, but then it just really started getting to me, and I had so much anxiety, and it got to me mentally to the point where I almost withdrew my application to my dream airline because I had so much anxiety over it, and I was just so tired of having anxiety, like, are they going to get back to me? Because even if they get back to me, I might not pass the next step of the interview. I might not pass the final step of the interview. So I could be going through all this waiting and all this anxiety and then not even get the job. And I was just going through so much. And then my second choice airline reached out to me for an interview. And I was really excited, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna just dive headfirst into this. I'm gonna use it as practice for my dream airline if they reach out to me for an interview. Or worst case, like, this is a great airline to work for too. It's my second choice. If my first choice airline, dream airline, doesn't get back to me, then I'll go ahead and just, you know, go with my second choice airline because it's also an amazing airline, and I've heard amazing things about working there, and I know it's a place that'll make me happy. So around the time that I got my interview, my friend Mikey, who talked me into applying, he had already gone through his interview process, and he ended up getting hired. So congratulations to Mikey. And he was just so happy there. He gave me interview tips, let me know what to expect. And the interview went so well, and this company really impressed me. And I firmly believe that if you're interviewing for a company, you are also interviewing that company. And I was impressed. I was very impressed. I applied on a whim. I wasn't sure if I was going to. I made the right decision. Like, I absolutely made the right choice in applying to this airline because I just felt so welcome in the interview process. And it really helped ease a lot of my anxiety for interviewing for the major airlines in general. So then I did get invited to the next step of my second choice airline, and I was so excited. I was like, I'm giving this my all. Like, we're going for it. We are definitely gonna try to get this offer with this airline. We're going to this airline, and I was just set on this. Like, I'm putting my dream airline aside because I need to focus on what is right in front of me and the opportunity that is being presented to me now. And that's what I did. And so I went to the final interview step, which in this airline was a panel video interview at the time. It had a lot to do with COVID. And I killed it. I killed it, you guys. I did so well. I honestly, truly felt like they made me feel so comfortable in a way where I was able to be myself. And the interview really felt more like a conversation than anything. And like, yes, there were questions. There were questions specifically to my job as a flight attendant already, and situations that I may have encountered in that job as well. But even so, even though those were work-related questions, it still really felt like a conversation to me. And I was just so at ease. I was so myself. I vibed with the recruiters that I was interviewing with so well. And that's what it is sometimes. It's just vibing really well with your recruiters when you're applying to really any job. It doesn't matter if it's airline or not. And I killed it. I did so good. And I was trying not to be overconfident, but I was just like, if I don't get this job, I don't know what else they want, like, because I just did so well that I would have been more surprised if I didn't get it than if I did at that point. And I tried not to be cocky, but like, I was just really confident. I was really confident. And I was also just really proud of myself because I had just gone through a lot to be there, and I waited a long time to get there. And I just thought to myself, like, I did it. I did it. I went out there and applied to major airlines, and I gave it my all, and I did so well. And no matter what the outcome is, I'm just so proud of myself. And then a couple days later, I had an interview on, like, I think it was a Thursday or a Friday, so it was that Monday that I got an email from that company inviting me to the next step of the interview process. And I do interview in quotations because that next step is basically a logistical last step. It was basically making sure that you fit into a flight attendant jump seat, because if you don't fit into a flight attendant jump seat, that's a huge safety issue. So before they extend you a formal offer, they do have you do this physical performance test. And so I went down to the airline's headquarters and I did this test and I passed it, and I had just gotten to the airport for my flight back when I got the official offer from this airline. And it was so exciting because I knew going into it, I was like, I sat on the jump seat of the airplane that they fly before, like I know I'm gonna fit, like I know that I have an offer coming my way. So in my mind, when I got invited to this next step, I had it, I had the job. And I was going, and it just like was so surreal to me because I had just gotten off of a trip when I got the email, and I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, like I'm leaving my regional. I'm leaving my regional airline. Like I'm not gonna be here anymore. Like this is crazy. Like just thinking about it, like so surreal. I had been with my regional for 4 years and I was like, I'm going, I'm leaving. Like this is it. I finally made it to a major airline. No, it's not my dream airline, but it's still an amazing airline that I really want to work for. And the interview process and the interviewers really showed me that, really showed me like, yes, I want to work for you. I want to work for this airline. And even when I went down for my jump seat test, they were amazing. And everybody was just so nice and so informative and just made you feel welcome and like you were already part of the team and already part of the family for this airline. And I was really excited about it, really jazzing myself up for it. And it gave me a lot more confidence than I already had going into the interview process. And that really was the key. That was the switch. Like getting an offer for that airline changed my life forever. And I'm gonna give you a spoiler alert. I do not currently work for that airline, and I did not end up going to training for that airline, and I'm going to tell you why. So I was so excited. Oh, hi Lexi. Hi Lexi. Lexi decided to come say hi. Hi. When I got the offer for that airline, I was so excited. I told all my friends who worked for that airline. I was looking everything up about training and how it was gonna go and what to expect. And it gave me so much confidence in myself that I will just never forget. And so I thought to myself, you know what? I've had my application in for my dream airline for 6 months at this point, 7 months. I did an assessment, and from there I never heard anything back. And right now I'm sitting on a job offer with my second choice airline that I really want to work for. So really I was just on this confidence high. I had nothing to lose. So I emailed them, and I thought worst case they would email me back and be like, oh sorry, like you didn't make the cut. That's why we haven't reached out to you. Try again later. Worst case scenario. And I would have, even going to my second choice airline, I would have tried again later. And I thought, you know what? I already have this amazing opportunity with this amazing company. You know, worst they could do is say no. So I reached out and they got back to me, and they basically apologized for taking so long for the interview process. They said I already should have received an interview, but whether it was a technology glitch or whatnot, like it did not get received into my email inbox, and I confirmed that with them. So they sent me an interview invite a couple days later, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is great. It's a video interview. I killed my last video interview with my airline that I just got an offer for, and I was so excited because I was finally getting a chance to prove myself, because that's all I really wanted. Even if I didn't get the job, I just wanted a chance to prove myself and a chance to do the best that I could, whereas I was at the point where I had not gotten the opportunity to do that yet. And I'd rather get a no after trying the best that I possibly could than not even get a chance to try. And so I was just so excited that I finally got an interview. No matter the outcome and how well I did, I finally got my chance that I was looking for to prove myself. So the next step with that airline was doing a video interview, and I did so good. It was only a couple of questions, but I took that confidence from my last video interview and also the confidence from like vlogging and talking to you guys. Like it really helped me talk to a camera to where it wasn't awkward, and even though there was another person on the other side of that camera, I still feel confident talking to a camera and talking to a screen. And so thank you to YouTube and to you guys for helping me build that confidence. But I did so good. And so then I was like, oh, I looked good, I answered good, even if my answers like might not have been like totally the best answers. I answered with confidence and I just presented myself really well, and just the pride that I had in my abilities to interview just like kept going up and up and up. And I passed and I got an email to go to the final interview process, and this happened really quickly and I passed. So I got an email, so the following week they were gonna fly me down to headquarters for an in-person interview, and I was so excited. So I decided I wanted to go in there and I wanted to have a good time. I wanted to have a good day. I wasn't gonna be nervous, I told myself, because the time I went before, I was kind of nervous. I kind of was not feeling confident in myself. And I knew that confidence that I had gained had like really helped me into the interview process. Like that was my secret weapon. That was the tool that I needed to just succeed. And so I'm like, I'm gonna keep this going. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna have a good time. I'm gonna meet people. I'm gonna make friends. And the interview hadn't even started yet when I exchanged numbers with somebody in the interview, because we're keeping in contact after this. Like we just meshed, like we just got along so well. I did get to the interview like super early, so I had time to mingle with everybody, get relaxed, get comfortable. And so that was when I made a friend already. The interview hadn't even started yet and I was already making friends. And so then I went into the interview process and we did a group activity. And this is where I felt like I didn't do as great the last time I was there, but this time I killed it. I had such a good group. Everybody that was in my group, like we worked so well together. Everybody was doing great. And like we just had so much personalities and we just all meshed together and we had a really good time. Like we didn't treat it like an interview. We treated it like, yes, let's get this done. Let's collaborate. Let's have fun. And it worked for us. And then we went into a part where they ask questions similar to like the video interview. And I do this thing, and I'm gonna do like interview videos for other tips that helped me succeed besides, you know, confidence. And one of the things that I was doing was, so everybody got a different question. And when they were asking the person their question, I was listening to their answer, but I was also thinking, what would my answer to that question be? And then by the time that it got to me and it was my turn to answer a question, the question they asked was very different than any of the other questions they had asked the other candidates. However, one of the thoughts in my head, the stories that I was thinking like, oh yeah, this happened and this would fit this question, it also fit the question that I was asked, even though it's completely different questions. So I was like, oh, perfect. And like, I did hesitate for a second because I was like, because they asked me this question and I remember thinking, oh, like it was a really good question. And then I paused and I thought about it and I was like, you know, the story I was thinking about earlier with that other question like really fits. And so I started telling them that. And I was just so confident in my answer and how I delivered it. And even though I took the time to like think about it, I wasn't giving a rehearsed answer. I was, you know, getting my thoughts together so that I can give them a really confident, well thought out answer. And I was just so proud of myself. And so after that part of the interview process, we mingled a little bit, they did a presentation, and I was thinking to myself, you know, no matter what happens from here, whether I make it to the next step of the process or to where they send me home now, either way, like I did the best I could. I couldn't have done any better. And I'm just so proud of myself, no matter what happens. And I wasn't even thinking about, oh yeah, I already have an offer at another airline. I was just thinking like how far I came with my dream airline. This was my 4th time applying and I did not give up because I know what I wanted and I knew who I wanted to work for. And I went in there and I gave it my all, and I was just incredibly proud of myself for how far I came and that I was able to do that for myself. And I just remember thinking to myself, no matter what happens, I am so proud of myself, and I know that other people would be proud of me because I did great. I did really good, and maybe I'm not what they're looking for, but it doesn't change the fact that I did my best and I did so good. Like, I did my best and I was just so confident, and nothing, not even a no, a rejection, nothing's gonna take away from the fact that I gave it my all and I gave everything I had and I gave it with confidence, and I was just sure of myself. And then the interview ended and they started calling people out, and they called people by the name and number, and I noticed that they were doing the numbers numerically, and my number was pretty close to the top. And so when they were calling the numbers with the names, I noticed that my number got skipped. And I was like, oh. And I was just like, oh, like, they're not calling me out. Am I going to the next step? Like, what's happening? And I just got really excited. And then they got to the end of the list and there were still people left, and they had us go do the jump seat test, which is very similar to the one that I had already done with the airline that I got an offer for. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is a good thing. This is a really good thing. Like, this means they like me. And I was just like trying to like not jump around and dance. And I was just so excited. And then after we did our jump seat test, we went back into the main room that we were already in, and they started calling us one by one. And they ended up calling us into another interview. So I went into the second interview, and my confidence actually started to get a little shaky on that one. I felt like the answers I was giving weren't the best, but I was still able to express like my passion for working for that company. At the end of the interview, they were asking me like these logistical questions, like, can I relocate? And like typical things that you're gonna hear in the flight attendant interview process, like no visible tattoos, no facial piercings, and what have you, just logistics. And at that point, I thought I was gonna get sent home without an offer. And I kind of like started getting really sad. I was like, oh, but like I still did really good, even though I didn't do the greatest on the final part, but like I'm still proud of myself. And that was kind of wrapping up the interview. And I figured, okay, after this, like they're gonna walk me out and I'm gonna go home. Then after they answered the questions that I had for them, they said, so in your application, you said you can read and write in English. And when you got here, you did a writing assignment. So now we have a reading assignment for you. And I'm like, oh. And they gave me a piece of paper and they pointed to the paragraph. They said, read that paragraph, start here. And the paragraph was the job offer. And I definitely teared up. I almost couldn't finish reading it. And it was such a whirlwind after that, but I do remember thanking them for making my dreams come true. And then I went in after that, I went to do like some paperwork, drug tests, fingerprinting, all the background stuff that I needed for my pre-employment stuff. And it was just so surreal for me. And I was just like, I got an offer from my dream airline. Like, I've been trying for 5 years to get with this dream airline, and I did it. And I'm like even getting emotional, like just like thinking about it and thinking how far I've come. So then I go home and I'm like, I have an offer from 2 major airlines, and not just 2 major airlines, 2 of the hardest airlines to get offers for, and I get to pick. I have a choice. Like, what? And I was in that position where the people that recommend like just apply to all the airlines and see like which one you get. I was in that position where I got to pick. I'm like, what? And really the process from when I sent out the email to when I got my job offer was about a month. So while I had waited like 7 months to even get an interview, as soon as I got that interview, like it went really quickly. And I was in training 2 months, about 2 months after I got my offer. So literally like 3 months from sending that email, I was in training after waiting 7 months. Like, it was crazy to me that it happened so fast. And here I am. I graduated training about 3 months ago. So I am now currently working for my dream airline. And I've been here for 3 months. So yes, I did quit my regional airline to come here to the major airline. But I'm just so happy. I loved my time at my regional airline, but I'm so happy here. I knew that this was going to be something that I would just absolutely love, and an airline I would love working for. And I do. I love it so much. And now I'm not going to disclose the airline I applied to and the airline I'm currently at. This is a journey that I would have loved to take you on as it was happening. However, I'm applying to airlines, major companies with social media policies that I'm not aware of, and it's not necessarily a bad look to be documenting my journey applying for these airlines, but I didn't want something to negatively impact my application without me realizing it. And I just didn't want anything to jeopardize my opportunities. And so I took the it's better safe than sorry approach to that. And so that's why I'm telling you guys all about it now and all about my journey. And it has been a journey. And some of you may be thinking like, okay, so you took a social media hiatus to apply for airlines, and now you are there, you're at your new company. So what is gonna happen with your channel? What is in store for that? Are you still gonna do flight attendant vlogs? And for that, I'm gonna make a separate video. I'm actually gonna record it like completely right after this one. So you'll see me in the same like everything. Oh, by the way, how adorable is this? I got it on Shein. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I do Shein hauls all of the time. It's something that brings me so much joy, and this sweater brought me so much joy. But I will be following up this video with a video on what my plan is for my channel, because I have so many plans, and it's another thing that I've been doing a lot of behind the scenes work on that you guys haven't seen while I was taking a break from posting so that I could focus on interviewing and training for my other airline. So that is going to be another video, so stay tuned to watch that. For those of you who have stuck around to the end of this video, thank you so much. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out my channel. And also don't forget to subscribe. I have a subscriber goal that I'm trying to reach right now, and every single subscriber really helps me out. And if you want to get notified on when I post new videos, ring the notification bell after you subscribe, and then YouTube will do its thing and you'll never miss one of my videos. So I hope you all are having a wonderful day, night, morning, evening, whatever it is, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!
Fly so much higher, fly so much higher.